It is Friday, May 11th at 7 a.m. sharp Pacific time. We have Dell, even though he's a little ill today. He agreed to come on, and he's coming. After he's done, then we're going to have a little break to change the recorder, and then we'll have Bob Roos. And those are the two topics we're covering today. It's doing Android and also some really cool stuff on help and functions by Bob. Okay, and if you guys don't know about WXDevCon 2012, check it out. Go to wxdevcon.com or come to WX Live US and you'll read about it. Okay, so let's make you the guy.
Arnold, thanks for that. Over the past few weeks, we've all heard that with the pieces of products we can create Windows and Linux apps, web apps, as well as mobile device apps, all from the same code base. And this afternoon, my time, I'm just going to share with you guys how easy it is to actually create a mobile device app. And in this instance, we're going to do it for Android. I've already opened up my WINDEV mobile editor, and I will go, and I'm using WINDEV Mobile 17, the beta version, and I'll go and create a new project, and I will create an Android application. The normal creation wizard that we all know by now pops up, and let's do this, my WX project, and I'm just going to go through it. Obviously what I've had to do, if I've already installed my Android SDK, and there's a very nice link if you don't have your Android SDK, which you can click, and they will take you through to the help file online on how to set up your Android SDK. Follow it step by step. Just something to note that Michael Pace has informed us that for WINDEV Mobile 16, the Android 4.x is not available. You need to have a 3.x or earlier. So we will step through our wizard, and we will select the device we want to generate for, or an unknown device. In this instance, let's just generate for a Samsung Galaxy S. That will give us the canvas in the correct sizes so that we know that our app will fit onto the device that we want to generate for. I'm not going to use SCM in this instance, and let's use Programming Charter, and then I can obviously select my style I want. Let's go for Actiphone 4, English only. Yeah, let's create a new database, and let's either do SQLite or HyperSQL Classic. Let's do HyperSQL Classic. Okay, let's go and create a database, and let's select something which is already existing, and let's take customer. We close that down. I go and I'll create a new screen, and let's create a blank screen, and let's make it maximized screen, title bar, scroll bar, whatever. Let's give it a name, main screen, and there's our main screen. Now let's take our customer and let's see what we can do with it. If we put a control in there, let's put a list box, we fill it with data, and we will disable the automatic scroll bar, And let's do nothing else to this. If I go to the description, in fact, let's just remove that and put something in there which says we are busy with this. I will go and create a control just now, and let's go to Android nice icons and say I use that nice little home image there, and we're gonna put that okay. So that is a screen created, or a screen, and the main thing I want to show you is how easy it is to actually compile this and get it tested and running. So what we will do is we'll go and create our Android application. It will save the screen. Then it asks me what's the first screen of the project, and I can name my project. And I don't have to give it an icon of the application. Then it defaults to WINDEV's own icon. You can put your company information there. You can put your version information there. You can sign it with keys that you've got, or you can use a generic signature key which comes with your WINDEV mobile application editor. We will create external storage writing to the memory card or whatever. There's no integration files, no Java libraries, and here is where you actually set the version of the SDK which you want to use. I've only installed version 4.03, so that's the only option available to me. And then I can also specify what's the minimum version of the Android runtime which should be allowed. I'm going to do that for 3. And where do I actually want to locate the installation? Now it's either internal memory or on the SD card. And then I will run my compiler, and it will compile my app for me. What I want to show is on my projects. What we end up with is a .apk file. If you've got a live device, your live device connected via a USB network card or other type of network will come lie on your disks as an additional external disk, and you could just copy this file onto the external disk, and that's how you get it onto a local live device. Because of my Android SDK, which also has a virtual application manager, I've got one virtual device set up on my SDK manager, and let's quickly just start the the virtual application manager for Android. You can see there's a live device I've set up. I can also go and create another device called Ben's device. And I can target that to a specific target, and I can create a card size. Let's make it 2000, and let's use that built-in skin, and Ben's device contains invalid characters, so let's get rid of the space there, and we create the virtual device. Let's just wait for that to happen. As with any demonstration, obviously things happen which shouldn't happen. And it's taking a bit of time. Okay, there's my device that's created, Ben's device. Now, one of the things which you can do is
take a lot of it.
Say again.
There's a delay.
Go ahead, ask your question.
I just want to know, so does it usually take a little, like a half a minute or so, so don't freak out?
Yes, there is a bit of a. Remember, you're starting up a whole actual operating system on a device. It's like having a virtual machine running. So one of the things which you could do is you could distribute to a stop device. You can see on the WINDEV mobile application, the IDE, it says that these devices are stopped. So I could actually go to my actual device and start it. And it takes a few minutes to start, and you will see in this, it will start up as if it's booting up, and then you wait a while for it to boot up completely, and then you can get access to it. Or when you publish to a stop device, your WinDev mobile IDE will actually start the device on your behalf. So let's just update there. Okay, that device is started, so I will publish to that device by just clicking that button, and the IDE is starting to publish the app to that device. This can take a minute or two until it's published to the device, and then the application which you've created. Okay, so it tells me that that device is not ready yet, so let's publish to that device. It tells me it's not started, so it could take a while to start. Now you can see that's a different device to which it's publishing. This one I know does start up and accept applications published.
Is it always that kind of speed,
It's always that
or is
speed. That's
there
why they tell you you should. Yeah, it's always the speed. You see, there's
Yeah,
the
I heard
device
that
now
even.
switching on,
Yeah, I don't think
and
it's
it's starting up.
WinDev, Ben. I don't think it's just
No,
WinDev
it's not
because I've seen
WinDev.
other
It's
environments.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just Android
Yeah,
emulator that's slow, is what I've heard.
very slow. Yes, that's why they propose that before you
So
publish,
it's
you actually
best to
start the
test with
device yourself. Yeah.
on a
So
real
if we
one.
go and either on the real one or on the virtual one, but you don't want to load everything to a real one and having go and delete it every time that it's not working. So there's the thing that we just created,
Question,
sitting
Ben.
on. Yes.
One of the things that I have always understood about Android is there are many different form factors. So do you have sort of some standard sizes that you would test against? So maybe like a typical set of 3 or 4 different virtual devices?
I don't
That's getting
develop
complicated,
commercial
right?
apps. Yes, I don't develop commercial apps. So all my apps are for specific devices. And I normally develop for those devices. I don't know what I would do if I had to do a commercial device which could go to different form factors. No, I've got no idea what I would do in that instance. So, so this is just an illustration of how easy it is to actually get a device onto either a virtual emulator or onto a real device. And like I said, onto a real device is you just plug, in my instance, because I don't develop commercially, I develop for specific devices, for specific people. We just plug it into a USB card, a USB extension, and we copy the app onto the device, and it's done. Let me just get to the home here, and I want to get rid of this app. and we go to the apps and scroll up, and there's one which I've just loaded. It's 1.7 megs, and let's uninstall that. And okay, now WINDEV 17 mobile comes with some devices. So what I want to do is actually open up one of the examples, and a very nice example is the sports assistant. Okay, and you can see I've already played around with the sports assistant and I've had a look at it. And if we go and look at the analysis, no, I don't want to do that now. We will notice that the files are SQLite, because that's the database that runs on the Android, is the SQLite database. Okay, so I'm gonna just go and compile this app, going through the whole process again. In this instance, permissions of the application, permission to do location, go to the internet, permission to vibrate on the phone. If we want to add more permissions, we can click on it and we can see all the permissions which is available for your applications, and you've got to include these permissions in your application so that they can be requested from the mobile device, from the Android device. Once again, our configuration, and let's compile there. Oops, I forgot to click on the copy. See, that's something else which I found as well. Sometimes I request permissions, but I forget to put the permission request into my application when I generate it. If we go, you can see there is the APK file as well that has been created. But let's go back here. And so it's very important to request the permissions. Let's click on that. We've already got let's try and start that device before the time. Okay, if we update that, device is busy starting up. Okay, and let's distribute that now. I found for some reason, if you start the Android device from the virtual device manager, it actually starts up slower than when you allow the PCSoft product to start the device for you. I've got no idea why. Okay, so there's the application which we've just loaded, but let's go back to the menu and let's go to the there. That's that Android Sports is the one that we've just loaded. If we click on it, there's a configuration. Well, I'm 85 kilograms and I'm a man. Not a woman, I'm a man. Let's go back there. If we go to journeys, we can also map what our journeys. Now obviously parts of this, because it's a virtual device, won't be working, and it will only be working on a real device. And one of the things I've found is that with a map here, if you're connecting to Google Maps and your virtual device is not connected to a wireless access point, obviously some of it doesn't work. If we go to the menu, we go back to, we're supposed to be going back to the menu of the system. In any case, so at the end of the day, that's how easy it is for WINDEV mobile to create an Android application and distribute it for either a virtual device or directly onto a live device. And that's all I wanted to show this morning.
That's cool. Actually, Ben and I, we were playing the other day, and we actually connected it to his wife's phone and moved stuff over and played with it, didn't we? It's kind of cool.
Cool and easy.
I just want to quickly have a look there. You see the actual device, once it's installed, is 2.6 megabytes in size. But if you go to the APV file, which is APK file, which is obviously compressed, you can go and have a look at it and see, sorry, which is that one is now under WINDEV Mobile 17 examples, Android, the sports assistant. You can see the actual size which is being distributed to the device, which is much smaller. And people that know Android better than me would be able to tell us, but I assume that Android has got a native unpacker or installer which would take the APK file and convert it to whatever format it should be on the Android device for it to be able to use it.
So it's just one file you move on to your phone via your USB is what you did, right?
Yes, and what also happens is let's say for instance you've got default.
Is there a certain location?
No, what I did is if it's
on the phone that
no, if it's on a if it's showing as a disk here at the bottom, let's say here which says virtual boxes, let's assume that would have been the phone's hard drive showing up. I just create a directory for myself called Ben's Uploads, and I just dump the APK in there. What then happens is on the phone, it pops up the fact that there's uninstalled applications, and do I actually want to install this application? And that's how easy it is.
Oh, it actually knows that. No, do you have to declare that folder as one with apps in it, or it just knows?
No, nothing. I just create a folder just like this. New folder.
Yeah.
Ben's. That's it. That's what I do on the hard disk of the Android phone as it displays on my PC, and I dump that into it, and on the device it pops up to tell me that there's uninstalled applications. Do I want to install it or not?
Oh.
And that's how easy
Alan
it is.
was saying that you could. Yeah, Alan says you can even email your phone and it'll install it that way too.
Yes, Ria showed me that there's actually a application on the phone which is downloaded, which makes the phone available as a web page over TCP/IP. It's got a HTTP front end which it allows you to actually use to upload devices to the phone as well. So on your PC you go to HTTP something something something, which the device tells you, and it brings up a web page which allows you to select the APK file and upload it to the phone. So you don't need a physical connection.
I would imagine the tablet devices would be the same, right? Because they.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Okay. So that's my story
Any
for the
other?
morning.
Well, that's great. Thank you again for being one of those guys that keep sharing. You know how I was kind of stuck on Monday with nobody, and you and Bob
Yeah.
came
It's
on.
anything that can show what we can achieve with the IDEs. And here I haven't even broken into a sweat. And I'm sure that there are other development environments which is as easy developing and distributing, but this is how the WINDEV mobile product does it. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to stop the recording.